This is the Wildcat Football Review with Edgewood Academy head coach Bobby Carr.
All right, hello and welcome to week 9 of the Wildcat Football Review. I'm Ron Johnson along with head coach Bobby Carr. The Wildcats are 8-0, going to Lynette, Alabama to play Springwood Academy this Friday night at 7 o'clock. Coach, you've had some pretty tough battles with the Springwood Wildcats over the years. Talk about what that matchup might be like Friday night.
Well, it's funny. You're talking about tough matchups. I remember 15 years ago when I was hired, Larry Pickett was our headmaster, and one of the first questions he had in our first meeting in his office, and he says, "Coach, who are we playing for homecoming?" And I said, "I hadn't even looked at the schedule. I don't know yet." And he says, "We need to play Springwood for homecoming." He said, Edgewood's never beaten Springwood, and they schedule us homecoming every time we go over there. So I want to return the favor. And I said, "That's fine. We'll play Springwood homecoming." And up to this point, we've beaten Springwood every time we played them since then. And but I know they'll be fired up to play us. It's their senior night, and their coach does a good job with them. They got a few athletes that'll be tough to contain. We got to hem up before the running back gets going. He reminds me a lot of the kid from Escambia we saw earlier this year.
Well, Coach, it's a little early in the season. We still got a few games to go, but let's talk about the contenders for the playoff. You probably got a good idea who you're going to have to knock down to get back to Troy, but who are some of those teams you're looking forward to playing?
Well, our side's still kind of up in the air, but the west side of the state looks like Marengo has won that region. Clark Prep's the 2 seed. Pickens is a 3 seed, and Wilcox is a 4 seed. And with us winning last Friday against Northside, we've won our region. So we'll host Wilcox first round, and then we'll obviously play the winner of Clark Prep and whoever the 3 seed is from our region.
So it looks like
the second round.
Possible matchup with Marengo again
if both teams do what they're supposed to do, there's a very good chance of us playing again in the finals. They're a very good team.
All right, well, Coach, last week you had some fun with you guys at the pep rally. Let's go to that clip and look at that. All right, Coach. You guys got some moves there. If you could figure out how to use that on Friday night, we'd probably be a better football team.
Well, I think they're much better football players than they were dancers. That's for sure. Some of them need a little help, but glad they're having fun. I mean, high school days are the best time of your life, and I tell our kids that every day. Enjoy it, and obviously they're enjoying a little too much today.
All right, Coach. Leon had a chance to talk with 2 of you young sophomores, number 59 Jig Scott and number 6 Antonio Simmons. Let's go to that clip.
Hello, I'm here with sophomore cornerback and running back Antonio Simmons and defensive end, a.k.a. Jig Scott. First of all, Jig, how did you get that nickname?
I got Jig from my godmother. She used to say I had curly hair and sounded like a gigolo mo.
Oh, I got you.
So my daddy picked up on that, and he just cut the lower mo part off and called me Jig, and everybody been calling me that ever since.
That's great, man. Antonio, we've been watching you on Friday night, man. You run with an attitude, explosiveness. You got good footwork. Been noticing a few, I'll call them Eddie Lacy spin moves. But tell us a little bit about what, as far as position is concerned, something that you want to improve on and maybe increase your skill set there.
Well, most I want to improve on is probably my vision at the position, because it's a lot when you have to read the line, and then you have to get to the second level, and that's probably the most thing I want, the best thing I want to work on, and my footwork also, because your feet can never be too good.
Right.
Yes, sir.
That's good. And, a lot of times you can make mistakes as long as you make them, going 110% and being aggressive, right? And that's, that's what you can compensate there. So next question for you guys. We talk about the offense. It gets a lot of notoriety, putting a lot of points up. If they don't score within 2 or 3 plays, man, it's a disappointment. From a defensive standpoint, I know you guys are out here one-on-one during the week. And that's probably some of the best competition we're going to get to see. Tell us a little bit about, start with you, Jig, how those battles tend to go during the week.
man, the battle said, that battle. We that's all we do. But win it down, and then we'll win again.
Well, and you always know if you're being successful because you can just look at Carr's face, right? If things aren't going well on the offensive side. Antonio, for you, tell us a little bit about what motivates you. You know, what gets you jacked up and getting ready to go out there on a Friday night?
I guess it's just going out there and knowing my teammates have my back every play, and just going out there playing for them and the seniors, just so we can have a successful year.
Yeah, team concept, right?
Yes,
I got a termite player, I should say. He also joins us on the Pee Wee team occasionally. Mac Seaman's got a question for both of you. Mac, if you would, go ahead and ask Jig his question.
Jig, if you had to choose would you rather be a defensive lineman or a linebacker?
Ooh, that's that's a hard one. But a defensive lineman, because you don't have to know as many players as a linebacker. You just tell them to tap on your butt which side they're going to go, and then you go on the other side of the hole.
Just go at it, huh? All right, next question, Mac.
Tony, would you rather play running back or cornerback and why? If you had to choose one.
It'll probably be cornerback, because knowing you can take that option away from the quarterback and to get your offense back the ball, it's the best feeling ever.
Oh, that's great. Last question I got for you guys. You know, going into this weekend, you guys are, you're on a roll, right? You get to see a lot of these college recruiters are coming out here. In fact, your brother's playing at Vandy up there. You know, tell us a little bit about how that is extra motivation for you, where you dig a little bit deeper, knowing that the success is here at this program. I'll start with you, Jake.
Oh man, it motivates me a lot. It makes me want to get out here and do better, and get better out here. That's why I try to go 100% on special team when we go against the offense, because we know we got to get better and better every day, and I want everybody to make it to the next level.
That's great. That's awesome. What about you, Tony?
Well, it's probably be the same thing, you know, getting everybody better so they can have a chance at moving on to the next level, and that's probably the best thing.
Yeah, well, that's great, man. It's been a joy watching both of you, and good luck this Friday night and for the rest of the season.
All right, Coach, I understand these guys have a pretty special relationship. Talk a little bit about that and maybe what these guys mean to your team.
Yeah, both kids are really good kids. Antonio shared with our team a few weeks ago, you know, that he'd lost his father at a young age, and that Jig's dad, Jeff Barlow, kind of took him in under his wing and took him to ball games and got him involved with athletics, and it says a lot about Jig's father. And they're really close, a lot like brothers. But I'll say this, two things. Antonio, if you didn't see him out on the field, you'd never know he's there. I've never heard him. He don't speak unless you ask him a question or speak at him directly. But what a great talent. Runs really well, and he's getting stronger and stronger, and has done a really good job at corner for us this season. And I think that he's got a chance to be special when he gets older. I'll also mention that he's an extremely great student. It's 4.0 grade point average. Very, very impressive. I hear nothing but great things from teachers about him. As far as Jig, great kid. The one thing I can say about Jig is he's a great leader. Kids follow him everywhere he goes. And, you know, he's Josh Crawford's younger brother. And a lot of times you see a younger brother of a great player like Josh. He kind of sits, does his own thing, but not Jig. He steps up, and he's got a glow about him everywhere he goes, and kids respond to his leadership. And I watched him. He probably worked as hard as any player we've had over the summer to get to where he's at right now, and hopefully he'll continue to work that the way he's worked up to this point. And you know, sky's the limit for him. He's also a very good baseball player too, so we're expecting big things from him this spring.
Coach, last week our show was pretty special. We celebrated your 200th career victory, had all your coaches in studio, and y'all shared some pretty sentimental moments between each other. Understand with the camera in the face, there's probably a few things that you'd like to say that you didn't get to say. We want to give you that opportunity to close that door today.
Yeah, you know, I didn't really get to talk about a lot of the players. It was funny, I was at the Alabama-Arkansas game, and I saw a lot of former players that a lot of those guys that I ran into were the ones that really got our streak going, got our program going in the right direction, and we just got to talking about where the program was at that point and where it is now, and that's something that those guys can hang their hats on. that they got this program going to where the direction it's going today, and still going hopefully for a while now. But as a head coach, I've just been fortunate to ride the shoulders of some great players and coattails of some great assistant coaches like you guys saw last week, and those guys make it easy on me. I can lean on them anytime, day or night, and until you're around us as our coaching staff and our team, you don't understand the bond that we all have with one another, and that's what's special, and I think that's what separates our program compared to other programs in the area. And I've just been blessed over the last 15 years to be surrounded by the people, coaches and players and administrators and supporters. And hopefully things will continue to go the direction they're going now.
All right, Coach, Leon had an opportunity to talk with another young guy, sophomore, Trey Sott, number 70, 6'4", 245-pounder. Let's go to that clip.
Hello, I'm here with sophomore right tackle Trace Ott with the Wildcats. And Trace, first of all, how's that shoulder doing? I know you suffered I believe it was a little labrum injury after that second game.
It's doing good. I got it rehabbed and got it back to the strength that it was when we started the season. And I feel very confident in it, and that I don't think it'll bother me anymore this season.
Well, that's great. Now, brotherhood is a common theme. You hear that come off a lot of tongues here at Edgewood. It's a way of life. It's not just something that I think people take lightly. And I know you, having had a history here and been here with the program and have made friendships outside of Edgewood, and I think playing some travel ball with some guys on the team. And talk a little bit about what this brotherhood's meant to you and how it's been a part of your extended family.
Well, most of these guys I grew up around, like Jig. Me and him played baseball when we were younger together with Coach Carr and Tripp and all them. And these guys have just been around me and helped me get through some of the most difficult times of my life, and I will always be grateful for them for that. And they just make every day a joy to be around and just put a smile on your face every day.
Great. That's evident, by the relationship, and you can see it on your face and the way you guys get after it and have each other's back. I also understand you play baseball, and having played football, if you could talk a little bit about that football mentality and how you might be able to parallel that on the diamond.
In football, you have to have mental toughness, and the same thing in baseball. What are you going to do when you go 0 for 3? Well, if you have mental toughness and been in situations in football when it's the fourth quarter and you're down late in the game, you got to be able to produce and come up in clutch situations, and that kind of goes back to mental toughness like Coach Carr tries to instill in us, and it really helps out a lot transferring baseball.
Well, your eyes probably light up when you're rounding third, heading home too, and anticipating some kind of collision. You can kind of bring that to your game as well. Last question I have for you before we bring in the termite player to have a question is, tell us something that we don't know about Trace. For example, I was at the senior pep rally this past Friday, and I saw Ben Norris has some guitar skills, a little bit of a musician, and I think JP even broke out the Quan. So what might you be able to tell us about Trace?
Well, I really can't dance as well as JP did, but I'm kind of like an open book. Everybody knows everything about me.
Yeah, I think JP's still a work in progress, so don't take offense to that. We've got a termite player here coming. We got little man Mason Hutto here with us from the termite team. Mason, what's your question?
Would you rather like to truck somebody or strip it?
You always want to run over somebody because you never get that feeling. When you get a big hit and you're all excited and pumped up, and so I would definitely want to run over somebody.
All right, that's great. Appreciate it, Mason, and good luck to you, Trace, this weekend and for the rest of the season.
All right, Coach, what's the story on this kid?
Well, I've known Trace for quite a while now. He's a very special kid to me. Mom makes a lot of sacrifices for him to be here at Edgewood, and she's a single parent. And, it's funny, when I first met him, he was a great baseball player and had probably dreams and goals of playing college baseball one day and maybe on past that. Now it's turned into this, he's wanting to play college football. And, he's a special kid. He's the type of kid that'd give you the shirt off his back, and the sky's the limit for him up front on the line. He's getting better and better each day. I see him year round. When no one, I always tell our players, when You want to be a good player, you're going to do what your coaches ask you to do. If you want to be that great player, you're going to work that extra when no one else is watching. And he's the one guy I see day after day. In the off season, he's always up here working on his footwork, working the sled, doing whatever he's got to do to be a good player. And I think the sky's the limit for him as well. And I just appreciate his mom and the sacrifices she makes to keep Trace here with us and our coaches.
Coach, recruiting season's kind of picking up a little bit. Has anybody got any offers this week, and do you see any more forthcoming?
Yeah, this past Friday night, Vanderbilt and Memphis were both here to see us play, and Vanderbilt offered our senior defensive end, Kelvin Lucky, over the weekend, and our sophomore linebacker, Khalid Young. Kelvin's also picked up offers from Georgia State and Troy, and his phone's starting to ring a good bit from coaches from Missouri, Florida, Nebraska, Kansas State, Kansas, Purdue, a number of schools. So you look at Kelvin, his upside's out the roof. He's just got to continue to get better, and he is. And if you look at clip one or game one to where he is right now, it's like a totally different football player. And those coaches see that, and they know that his upside is tremendous.
All right, the game this week will be at the Springwood Academy campus in Lynette, Alabama at 7 o'clock kick time. If you can't be with us, watch us live online at edgewoodacademy.org/live. Pre-game show will start at 6:45 with a kick at 7 p.m. Until next week, for Coach Bobby Carr, I'm Ron Johnson saying thank you for watching the Wildcat Football Review.